Yo, what's cracking, y'all? It's your boy GDQ with the Activated Podcast.
Hey, it's your boy Real Walter Ford, activated.
It's your boy Mac2301, Activated Podcast. Y'all already know what it is.
Activated Podcast. Podcast.
Y'all had a good week, bro? Before we get into it, how y'all living, bro? It's been a long week.
Yeah, overtired.
Over time. Black Friday that happened.
Yeah, man. Black Friday in retail.
Yeah.
Which, in all honesty, it wasn't that bad. It, obviously because of COVID, but
Coronavirus.
yeah, that ain't gonna stop people from spending their money on Black Friday on a made up commercial holiday.
It's actually a holiday where they used to sell slaves on sale.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll get on that on another informational day. Woo! No, I'm just playing, but yeah. So, the more you know.
Yeah.
So I seen a video that said that wasn't true,
Really?
and that it's a different story,
Really?
and that
We're gonna have to look
people
that up.
got to stop perpetuating that myth.
It's a myth. I mean,
but it's similar with something else. It has something to do with something else. But
it has something to do with
either
stuff
way,
you don't tell.
fuck Black Friday.
I mean, hey, that makes sense. Let's find that out though. Let's find out for the episode. I'll look it up. I gotta pull my computer out. But yeah, other than that though, I had a good week, G. It's been pretty chill. Christmas finna come up. Yo, 2020 finna be over too, which is crazy.
Yes. Yes. We're almost there.
Yeah, I know.
We're almost there.
We almost there, Q.
Okay, here it was. The earliest evidence of the phrase Black Friday originated in Philadelphia. It was used by police to describe the heavy pedestrian and vehicular traffic that would occur on the day after Thanksgiving. This usage dates to at least 1961. As the phrase became more widespread, a popular explanation became that this day represented the point in the year when retailers began to turn a profit, thus going from being in the red to being in the black. That's the whitewashed version of it, but yes.
All right.
In Philadelphia, the police to describe the heavy pedestrian and vehicle. So it's a corporate thing, bro.
The more you know.
It's been a corporate thing.
So they pretty much made a day to make money. Is what you're saying. It was like, all right, the grocery store is getting it popping. How can we get it popping too? The turkey store jumping. We trying to sell socks at the same day.
Mm-hmm.
Sell you these hangers.
And people will soon know that, like, you really don't get deals like you think you do. Some stores do, but everybody think you about to go to Best Buy and get the best deal in the world, and it's just like, nah, they ain't fucking with y'all like that. But to each his own,
Especially in the Rona time. So yeah, we
Speaking of the Rona, it's getting real out here again. It's getting real out here with the coronavirus.
Yeah, no, it's really crazy. Indiana is about to roll back finally where I'm from. But the reason I say that is because that's how you know it's real, is because the states that didn't close at all or didn't even think the Rona existed, you know what I'm saying, or was dangerous or whatever.
Sounds like you're talking about red states.
Yeah, now they all are feeling the effects of the not taking it serious, unfortunately.
I believe LA is going back into a stay-at-home order as of Tuesday. for like 3 weeks, but I read it and I didn't really understand, like, what are you, okay, it says it's banning all private and public gatherings.
Okay, I apologize to interrupt you guys, but I found the article that the guy was explaining it. So let me read the article because I think it's actually fucking really interesting.
I bet.
All right.
This is about Black Friday still?
Yeah, because it was this black dude. He's like, yeah, you guys got to stop perpetuating this myth. Like, here is all of this and blah, 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 blah. And I was like, damn, that's crazy. Because, all right. And it was a video, but he used this article. It's from history.com. So, I mean, it's kind of like, I don't know if you trust like the History Channel and history.com, but it's, you know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
I trust the History
also
Channel
true.
as much
Yeah, they're pretty good. Okay.
I trust the History Channel as much as I trust the history book.
Yeah. So you could, but the first recorded use of the term Black Friday was applied not to holiday shopping, but to financial crisis. So it still has bad roots. Specifically, the crash of the U.S. gold market on September 24th, 1869. Two notoriously ruthless Wall Street financiers, Jay Gould and Jim Fisk, worked together to buy up as much as they could of the nation's gold, hoping to drive the price sky high and sell it for astonishing profits. On that Friday in September, the conspiracy finally unraveled, sending the stock market into free fall and bankrupting everyone from Wall Street barons to farmers. The most commonly repeated story behind the post-Thanksgiving shopping related Black Friday tradition links it to retailers. As the story goes, after an entire year of operating at a loss in the red, stores would supposedly earn a profit, went into the black on the day after Thanksgiving because holiday shoppers blew so much money on discounted merchandise. Though it's true that retail companies used to record losses in red and profits in black when doing their accounting, this version of Black Friday's origin is the officially sanctioned but inaccurate story behind the tradition. In recent years, another myth has surfaced that gives a particularly ugly twist to the tradition, claiming that back in the 1800s, Southern plantation owners could buy slaves at a discount on the day after Thanksgiving. Though this version of Black Friday's roots has understandably led some to call for a boycott of the retail holiday, it has no basis in fact. So trust that the true story behind Black Friday, however, is not as sunny as retailers might have you believe. Back in the 1950s, police in the city of Philadelphia used the term to describe the chaos that ensued the day after Thanksgiving when hordes of suburban shoppers and tourists flooded into the city in advance of the big Army-Navy football game held on every Saturday that year. Not only would Philly cops not be able to take the day off, but they would have to work extra long shifts dealing with the additional crowds of traffic. Shoplifters would also take advantage of the Bedlam stores to make off with merchandise, according to the law enforcement headache. By 1961, Black Friday had caught on in Philadelphia to the extent that the city's merchants and boosters tried to unsuccessfully to change it to Black Friday in order to remove the negative connotations. The term didn't spread to the rest of the country until much later, however, and as recently as 1985, it wasn't in common use nationwide. Sometime in the late 1980s, however, retailers found a way to reinvent Black Friday and turned it into something that reflected positively rather than negatively on them and their customers. The result was the red to black concept of the holiday mentioned earlier and the notion that the day after Thanksgiving marked the occasion when America's stores finally turned a profit. The Black Friday story stuck, and pretty soon the term's darker roots in Philadelphia were largely forgotten.
Yeah.
Yeah, it still is. Yeah.
Say no more. So they used to was like, oh, look at all these people. It's Black Friday, but now it's like we finna get money, so we're gonna call it Black Friday. All right.
Yeah.
And it's still racist, and it's still from Philly cops.
Arrest the cops that killed Breonna Taylor still too. I had to stretch real quick, but yeah, I still have to say that. So yeah, man, that's wild.
Oh,
Thank
man,
you
your
for that
family too.
information, bro. We needed that. I think that we needed that information right there to enlighten ourselves. I didn't know that. I ain't gonna lie to you. You've been informing us on the protests and you said we don't have to talk about the protests in Paris or
Yeah,
really around the world too, but you know a
kind
little
of
bit
big
more than
ass
I do.
thing.
Well, I mean, it's been everywhere.
Where did you want to start? I guess because I don't know. You know a little bit more than I do.
I mean, you could start with. I mean, I would think this like round of protests and everybody's kind of, or a lot of countries protest similar to Hong Kong right now. So you could kind of see like, and that was in 2019. And
That's crazy. It seemed like it was right now. It seemed like it was recent too, though.
and then I guess France had the yellow jackets too. They had like long sustained mass protests. And then I mean Black Lives Matter had started, in 2013. Um
Damn, man, that's
it's been a long time.
Black Lives Matter 2013.
It's either what is it? It's
There's
either
Mike Brown.
2013 or
I would say
2014.
Mike Brown ain't been gone 2013.
Yeah, bro. Mike Brown was a minute ago, bro. You gotta think about that.
Damn, bro. Was it really
It's been
20?
Yeah, July. Yeah, 2013.
think
Damn.
about how many other names have been. Yeah,
That's what I'm getting at. It's like, damn, like really? I swear Mike Brown passed when we got to Cali 5 years ago or 4 years ago for you. That's crazy.
And I mean, and it kind of died down a little bit, you know what I mean? And I mean, really with
it will
that,
come back in sparks.
Ferguson was really the place turning up, you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
of course.
And this time around, it's a lot different.
This time it's
This
everywhere.
time the whole world.
But we
the whole
followed
world
a bit of, people adopted different tactics this time. And then, I mean, it's been everywhere. I think with the pandemic, I think that the rich have just obviously gotten much richer, and this is everywhere across countries. Most countries aren't getting the help they deserve or need. At least the poor or unfortunate people. And I think a lot of people are just fed up, and so you get a lot of countries doing this at the same time, and it's similar to what they called the Arab Spring. You remember that back in the early 2010s?
I don't. You got to
When
inform the people.
Egypt and like Libya and all the like North African countries were revolting, overthrowing their governments.
I remember hearing about
It was a
Libya.
big thing with Obama, and
I remember hearing about Libya. But obviously, back then, and I wasn't heavily into the whole political side of things.
Oh yeah, no, I didn't give a fuck. I ain't gonna lie to you. Yeah, no,
Yeah,
I wasn't. He wasn't heavy in it. I just didn't give a fuck. 2013, and I was a sophomore in college, fam. I was trying to throw parties, trying to see what's going on. So, but that makes sense though. So now I'm gonna go.
Yeah, go look up the Arab Spring. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
what they call it. Yeah,
exactly.
it was
And now
all
you're
around
saying
the
this
same
is similar
time.
to that because all around the world, a lot of people are protesting right now, or at least not too far away from each other. You know what I'm saying?
It's everywhere. So from my memory, it's America, France, Thailand, Guatemala,
Nigeria.
Chile.
Nigeria.
Nigeria. I think I said Nigeria, didn't I?
No.
No. Okay, so Nigeria.
Chile.
I said Chile.
Mexico. You didn't say Mexico, yeah.
Mexico. There's a lot more. Colombia.
Brazil.
Yeah, I think I've seen some stuff in Brazil, not like mass protests. India is having huge protests right now. Belarus.
Oh yeah, Belarus.
I've seen a lot of anti-lockdown protests in Europe. Those have been like smaller, like weird ones. They got their crazies everywhere.
Yeah, that's the world.
Um, there's more. So Africa had a lot. So Africa, there's been like the Ivory Coast had protests, Ghana, like there's been a lot of protests, like a lot. And some of them were like smaller, like news and stuff, and not a lot of people had saw.
Unlike SARS,
Peru,
which is major.
yeah, Peru. So a lot of South America. I'm trying to think of any more off my head.
Yeah, but regardless, though, I'm just
Did I
want to
say
say
Thailand? Yeah,
Yeah,
Thailand.
we said Thailand.
sending prayers to innocent people that are affected by that. You know what I'm saying? Because this is a trying time for everybody in the world, not just like
Here, not just here.
So, you know.
But in particular, like Paris is out there, or France. My bad. I ain't gonna limit it to just Paris, but cops is out there actually like combating protesters and losing, which if you hate cops, then I guess that's something you would like to see. Cops getting their ass whooped.
Yeah, but like we said off camera though, it's more of like, or off live, whatever. It's more like they have a different training and a different culture and a
Right.
different
absolutely
programming and a different priming, I think is a good word. Like, like built up, like information both ways. Like these people are here to kill you, and it's like these people are, you know what I'm saying? Like, so they just like got batons and shit. They not walking around with like bazookas and tanks and getting out of SWAT cars and you know what I'm saying?
Grenade launchers and shit like that.
Yeah, it's not like armed, they're not like military tech. I mean, not saying that they aren't like that, but I'm just saying that it's not the culture, kind of like in America or at least in other countries.
Put it like this: you can clearly tell who spends more money on their police force.
Yeah, well, yeah, that too. I think it's big into programming.
Too. No,
I think it's
we're
big
a lot more scared of the police than.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. And the police, but the inverse of that is the police understand that people are scared of them and that they have power that they can abuse too. So it's an inverse of it too. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
it's like people become the police and know what they can do. It's not like they like, oh shit, I didn't know I could fucking beat somebody ass and get away. I didn't know that. You know what I'm saying?
They still do it in those other Western countries. There's
but it's just not as the norm.
It's a spectrum.
Norm.
No, well, you have a spectrum. You have like Nigeria where the police are willing to shoot people and kill people.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like, and they do that here. You know what I mean? But I haven't heard of a police officer using like a semi-automatic weapon and just like mowing down protesters or whatever. I mean, they shoot people in the head and they beat the shit out of them, and it's really bad. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And so there's spectrums, like
there's levels to
some police in other countries you have to bribe or they'll kill you. You know what I mean? So they do that here too.
they
do that here too. So it's like and
they'll hang you. It's a lot of people on trees back in the day.
The American police and the American criminal justice system has done a very good job at making it look professional. They're like polished killings and polished. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like it's like a
whitewashed. Yeah, like they just, you know what I mean? They kill someone and then it's just like it looks good up front. You know what I mean? And they're they're able to get away with it up front.
It's like another day at the office.
Yeah, in these other countries, so there's a lot of people who support our police. In other countries, there's a lot of people who don't support the police at all because they know that they're super corrupt. And you know what I mean? Like, we know not to trust cops, but there's a big part of our population that loves cops.
Exactly. Yeah, I like how you said it like that, like love, love.
It's a
Yeah.
weird obsession. You know what I mean? So it's different in each country, but each country faces police oppression and police violence during their protests because people don't go you don't get mass protests when people are happy, bro. And you don't
Right.
get mass protests when people are fine with what's going on.
How many protests you seen in New Zealand? Exactly.
And so you get those anti-lockdown protests, but they're small and they don't have anything really worth fighting for. You know what I mean?
New Zealand don't even got the Rona no more. They don't even got the Rona no more, fam. The world, think about that. It's a whole world. The whole world, like it's a planet. Like everybody on the planet got some shit except you and your niggas. Well, just you and your people. Like us, we just like, yeah, like we good. Like they got the whole sporting events. like, like you know, like regular rugby matches.
Well, remember in Wuhan, they were having 10, 15,000 pool party concerts. And that was the origin of the whole pandemic.
And pool party concerts. Hey, that sounds kind of lit without the corona being involved.
Yeah, a lot of things sound lit without the corona. You know, but I mean, yeah, so you have that, and then you look at here in the United States, and we got governors telling us one thing and completely going out and doing the other. They're telling us to stay home, don't, practice social distancing, don't go to gatherings bigger than one family household, and yet they're out going to parties and stuff like that and taking trips and flights and stuff like that.
And twerking and shit. You know it's a governor out there twerking. A dude. A dude. And he's supposed to be inside. Yeah.
It's polished, corruption.
Yeah, that's what you say.
In other countries, they know and they understand that these people are like super corrupt.
And yet we got people here who still think the government truly cares about us. And yeah, we all know how that
all goes with like that's why when the George Floyd protests came up, it wasn't just the killing of George Floyd. You know what I mean? It wasn't just that. It wasn't that event that led to those protests. It's been a lot building. You know what I mean?
That should have been building since Emmett Till and before that.
And it goes hand in hand with the idea of people in power and keeping the status quo and, you know what I mean, making sure Black people don't have a large portion of the economy, and it's based in white supremacy, and it's based in capitalism, and it's based in imperialism and trying to take over and take whatever you can. And it's all very related. That's why when we were talking about it, why people go and they hit those stores, you know what I mean? From those, it's a cop riot. The cops start it. The cops are only there to protect the property. The cops are there, and they're also there to stop the protest because the protest means something, and these people are upset and they're trying to fight for something. And then when the cops act like cops and start a riot, then people go and they take their frustrations out on things like buildings and items.
Yeah.
Right? And they're not fighting each other. So when you
it's human nature. Yeah, it's just a human thing.
Well, they're not beating people. You didn't see anyone. The only people that got beat were people from the police and shot by the police with rubber bullets. You know what I mean? It wasn't like on that
civilians
first
fighting
weekend, you did
civilians.
people weren't squaring up with each other. You know what I mean? Besides like people walking by, we had that one person like try to throw a firecracker or something at us, and that was it. But like,
Yeah, he went night,
yeah,
real quick.
but they're not taking their
You want to go night?
yeah. And that was only because someone did something. They're not taking their rage out on people's houses and going in.
Exactly. There was no physical bodily harm. Like, I'm finna go kill somebody right now. It's like, I'm finna.
Break some
It's
stuff.
different.
Like,
I'm surprised that they didn't do that for my young guy out in Louisiana. I think it was because they didn't really have a video or nothing. You know what I'm saying? They just kind
of the teenager.
Video,
Yeah.
bro. Same day video is the motivator right now. If you don't have, if it's not the same day and it's not a video, like, because same day, what happens is same day, all the activists go in the city. You know what I mean? And then if it's a video, it spreads like crazy. And so
Like
everybody is
wildfire,
able
yeah.
to get it and go and do
Internet
something.
for you.
It's also tired, bro. People caught in every city, cops have arrested hundreds of people, bro. Like, I mean, in San Diego
Thousands
alone, it's
now,
been like
bro.
70. So you take 70 of the main activists away. You know what I mean? Maybe some of them organized, maybe some of them were medics, maybe some of them were just people, you know what I mean? And just walking and holding signs. These people don't want to come back out and protest. So it's a way of them
Suppressing it.
Suppression.
Yeah. And that's all they want to do. That's why they arrest people. That's why they make up. I mean, in San Diego, no one's been arrested for anything like legitimate, bro. Like something where like no one was trying to burn down a building. You know what I mean? If you want to call that bad or whatever, you know what I mean? No one was trying to do that. Like people have barely even graffitied since the first weekend. Like, so you guys are just arresting. They tried to arrest a black dude for a phone when it was a white person in Black Bloc who stole it. You know what I mean? Like, so it's a way of being racist and, you know what I mean, suppressing a mass movement
And looking polished.
and being polished while doing it and tweeting and saying, oh, like, yeah, we arrested these people because they stole a cell phone and they were trying to hurt the police. And then the news takes what they say for verbatim. So they report on what the cops say, not what the community says. So
Or
it's polished,
not
right?
even what the truth is.
Like, wait a minute. Like the people who don't get paid aren't getting paid to lie.
Because, well, it's because of the professionalism and the polishedness, right? The police have their public media and their professional stuff, and they've
They
got
have a
their
PR, fam.
public
Just like everybody else.
spokesperson who replies, and it's this one person, and they say the same bullshit, and we're trying to protect our community. And so it's a big thing with like a system. So, and these, you know, the system really trains these hateful people. And so these people are able to do whatever within that system. And when you have your captain saying, yeah, you could do whatever, you know what I mean? Imagine in Portland, like whose boss is telling these people, like, you can go and just run and just beat up whoever, you know what I mean? Just run at them and see who you can get.
Exactly. Pull one of them down.
Round them up.
Get the one praying.
So
Which is wild.
Yeah.
Life is crazy. 2020 is crazy. Coronavirus is crazy. And yet we still here.
Trump crazy.
See, we was doing so good. You just had to say it. You just had to say
I'm just saying he crazy. I ain't got to talk
Here,
about him.
I'm gonna read one last thing, all right, and then I'm gonna be done, and then y'all can say whatever you need to if you like.
No, we out. We getting out of here.
So yeah, I'll tell you who it was after. It's kind of long, but not really. All right. So people throughout the world do not need more corporate investments. Rather, they need the opportunity to wrest back their land, labor, natural resources, and markets in order to serve their own social needs. Such a revolutionary development invites fierce opposition from apostles of the free market, whose violent resistance to social change makes peaceful transformation impossible to contemplate. Even in countries like the United States, where reforms of limited scope have been achieved without revolution, the peaceful means employed have entailed popular struggle and turmoil and a considerable amount of violence and bloodshed, almost all of it inflicted by police and security forces. The last point frequently goes unmentioned in discussions about the ethics of revolutionary violence. The very concept of revolutionary violence is somewhat falsely cast, since most of the violence comes from those who attempt to prevent reform, not from those struggling for reform. By focusing on the violent rebellions of the downtrodden, we overlook the much greater repressive force and violence utilized by the ruling oligarchs to maintain the status quo, including armed attacks against peaceful demonstrations, mass arrests, torture, destruction of opposition organizations, suppression of dissident publications, death squad assassinations. Michael Rannell, the guy in Portland, that's exactly what they did. Trump and them went and that dude killed a Patriot Prayer guy, and then Trump and them literally
Oh
went
yeah,
and
when they went to his
assassinated that
house,
fool.
they did the interview and they
Like
killed him
that.
the next day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the extermination of whole villages and the like. Most social revolutions begin peaceably. Why would it be otherwise? Who would not prefer to assemble and demonstrate rather than engage in mortal combat against pitiless forces that enjoy every advantage in mobility and firepower? Revolutions in Russia, China, Vietnam, and El Salvador all began peacefully with crowds of peasants and workers launching nonviolent protests only to be met with violent oppression from the authorities. Peaceful protest and reform are exactly what the people are denied by the ruling oligarchs. The dissidents who continue to fight back, who try to defend themselves from the oligarchs' repressive fury, are then called violent revolutionaries and terrorists. For those local and international elites who maintain control over most of the world's wealth, social revolution is an abomination. Whether it be peaceful or violent is a question of no great moment to them. Peaceful reforms that infringe upon their profitable accumulations and threaten their class privileges are as unacceptable to them as the social upheaval imposed by revolution. Reforms that advance the conditions of life for the general public are not as materially intractable or as dependent on capital resources as we have been led to believe. There is no great mystery to building a health clinic or carrying out programs for food rationing, land redistribution, literacy, jobs, and housing. Such tasks are well within the capacity of any state if there is a political will and a mobilization of popular class power. Boop.
Oh, I like to end on that. That was lit. Who said that?
Okay, so this is from a book called let me get it right. It's called Black Shirts and Reds by Michael Parenti. It's a book. That's an excerpt from a book.
Michael Prenti. Shout out to him. I like that.
Michael Prenti was saying the same stuff that's going on right now.
And that book came out in 1997.
Yeah.
And it speaks volumes right now. Ain't it crazy how history repeats itself?
23 years ago. I mean, I wouldn't say history is repeating itself.
100%.
It's just continuous.
It looks similar. It's the same. It looks similar. It's slightly different, but it's polished.
The best, the best way I can describe it is kind of like how the 13th Amendment is. Like,
It's bullshit with a Snapchat filter on.
It's like as soon as the problem is acknowledged, they tweak it.
Mm-hmm.
Tweak it. You know what I'm saying? Like, for example, like I said with the 13th Amendment, it's the abolishment of slaves, except for when you're a prisoner. You know what I'm saying? And
Slave your dumb ass.
yeah, but you see where I'm going with it. Like they'll just tweak it.
Loophole.
And now, like I said, you look at it now, it's like peaceful protesting has always been met with violence.
But now it's being met with laws. Did you see it, real quick before we leave? I think it's in Florida.
Yeah.
The governor he's trying to bring a law to where they can, a civilian can shoot you if you're a protester legally.
Yeah, he wants his citizens to.
You said Florida, right?
Is Georgia or Florida?
Florida, I don't know, because that fool is crazy. Their governor.
And
yeah,
then
he's pretty sure it's Florida, fam. But yeah, I did say that.
Because he's encouraging to the whole stand your ground law is what he's doing.
Yeah. We're trying to make it stronger, pretty much. So if you're a protester, they can shoot you. But yeah, this is what he's wild. He also said we finna open up Florida, and now they got the hella corona. But what was you saying?
I have nothing.
Yeah, that's it. That's
On
how
that, it's been the Activated Podcast. It's your boy Walter Ford.
It's your boy GDQ.
Mac 230 to the 1. Y'all already know how we get down. Stay activated, stay safe. We love y'all. Buy an Activated by Community t-shirt. Click the link in the bios. Follow us on all social media. Like and subscribe. Y'all know the routine. This ain't y'all first one.